All right, good morning, PT on Ice daily show. Happy Friday, live here on Instagram. Almost knocked the tripod over. Live here on Facebook. We are ready to go. It's Fitness Athlete Friday. It's the best day of the week. Happy to announce that I am now here at the gym full time. Quit my regular clinical job, so now I'm not unemployed. I'm self-employed. So my name is Alan. I am the CEO of ICE, faculty of the Fitness Athlete Division. Happy to be jumping on here on Fitness Athlete Friday. I want to say thanks to the PT Central crew from last weekend. Flew down to Oklahoma City and helped Jeff TA a cervical course there. Got to meet about 20 folks who took our Live Essentials online course back in the fall. Always nice to connect in person. Sean, Matt, Robin, Lauren, Jenny, Don, and the rest of the gang. Great to meet you guys in person. Super pumped to meet you all. If you haven't seen on the CrossFit Fenton, my page, Mitch's page, Zach's page on Instagram, check it out. We had a nice rebuttal to Jillian Michaels about CrossFit that's catching some waves. So check that out if you haven't yet. And then before we get started here, just want to announce Virtual ICE is open, our weekly mentorship group that meets an hour each week and goes over some different topics in the clinic. So if you're looking to jump on the ICE team and you're not ready to commit to a course yet, or you just want a little bit more week to week, check out Virtual ICE over on ptnice.com. So what are we talking about today? So 2 weeks ago, I jumped on here. That was episode 359. And we talked kind of what's the bare minimum exercise we can get away with for the maximum benefit, right? We just discussed an article that showed that about 37-ish minutes a week of moderate intensity, whatever that was defined to be, gave us some cardiovascular benefit, some reduction in all-cause mortality risk. And today I want to talk about the inverse of that on a paper that also just came out that really discusses intensity and overall levels of fitness. And the whole theme is compared to 2 weeks ago when we said, what's the minimum we can get away with for some moderate benefit? This paper focused more on what's the maximum we can do. Is there a ceiling to fitness? Can we continue to get benefit the more and more and more fit we become? And the whole thing is that intensity does matter. Fitness capacity does matter. So the name of this paper, and I'll post it here after I shut down the live feed. It's open access article. Association of Cardiorespiratory Fitness with Long-Term Mortality Among Adults Undergoing Exercise Treadmill Testing. Excuse me. By Mansager et al. Again, open access article from Cardiology back in October 2018. And this paper looked at the association between all-cause mortality and cardiorespiratory fitness as measured by an exercise treadmill test. So it looked at 122,007 folks between 1991 and 2004. And I know what you're saying. You're saying, Alan, what a small study, 122,007 folks. I really need to see a study of 122,008 people to be convinced. But all sarcasm aside, huge study, lots of folks, long period of time. Median follow-up was 8.4 years, and they stratified these folks by their age, their gender, and then they classified them in different performance categories based on how they did on the treadmill test. So low performers were in the 25th percentile or lower. The low average performers were in the 25th to 49th percentile. Above average, 50th to 74th percentile. High, 75th to 97.6th percentile. And then elite performers were at 97.7 percentile or higher. So based on how all these folks fell in, they followed up with them over a long period of time, looked at their mortality, see if anybody died, and then kind of classified their performance based on how they did on the treadmill test, how far along in the treadmill test protocol they were able to get. Risk-adjusted all-cause mortality was inversely proportional to cardiorespiratory fitness is the main result that was found. And it was found that the all-cause mortality risk is the lowest in elite performers. Often research that looks at this kind of stuff will say that the more fit you get, there's actually at the other end of the spectrum between almost no fitness and high fitness. At the high end of the spectrum, there's a risk too. There are some cardiovascular factors that come. But this paper said there really doesn't seem to be a ceiling. They finished with the increase in all-cause mortality associated with reduced cardiorespiratory fitness was comparable to or greater than traditional risk factors as well. So it seems to be that if we can be really fit, even if we do have some traditional risk factors, even if we might have some coronary artery disease, even if we're a smoker, even if we do have diabetes, if we're really, really, really in shape, we can offset some of those factors. They also saw an improvement in benefit between those elite performers, those folks at the 97.7th percentile or higher, and those in the high category who were doing well, 75th to 97.6th percentile, even in folks older than 70 years old. So they showed a benefit to continuing to increase your fitness even as you get older. And of course, we're all about that here at ICE. We talk about that a lot with the overall division. Dustin and Christina hammer on that every single week, that it doesn't matter how old you are. It's not too late to increase your fitness, and that you need to keep your fitness going throughout the lifespan. The study also looked at those that they considered extremely elite. So those folks who were 2 standard deviations or greater above their age-adjusted mean, and they found that those folks had the lowest all-cause mortality risk. These folks were able to sustain 14 METs or higher on the treadmill test. So that's running at a speed of 9.3 miles per hour or faster. So these folks are booking it. These folks know how to dig deep and hit those levels of intensity that we like to see. So there doesn't seem to be a ceiling. The study concluded that there's no perceived upper limit of benefit to increased aerobic fitness, right? You can never have too much fitness. A great quote here: the magnitude of benefit of increased aerobic fitness was particularly striking. So it seems like we really, really, really need to get people fit, and we need to keep them fit and keep them pursuing their fitness, regardless of their age, regardless of their gender, regardless of any other risk factors that may be at play. The elite performers saw an 80% reduction in all-cause mortality risk compared to the bottom 25th percentile performers, which is great. A lot of these studies will say, like the study we looked at 2 weeks ago, 37-ish minutes for a kind of a marginal compared to 80% reduction in all-cause mortality risk. The authors here, what I like, they also discussed those benign adaptations that we often see in papers like this, and said things like benign AFib, coronary artery calcification, or aortic dilation seem to be cardiovascular adaptations and not something that we really need to be concerned about with those who are very, very, very fit. Obviously, this study has some limitations. Association between mortality and fitness does not cause causation. Even those folks who were very elite, we don't know a lot of other stuff that was going on in their life. We don't know what their diet was. We don't know their genetics. We don't know what their sleep was like, their recovery, their race, their ethnicity. So, we would like to assume that those folks who are in the elite or even the extreme elite level are probably eating very well, sleeping very well, taking care of their bodies. They're probably not drinking a lot. They're probably not smoking, but we don't know that for sure because we didn't dig deep into it. And furthermore, a limitation from my end that I would like to see is I would have liked to see these high performers. I would like to see them have been asked, what do they do for training? Hey, are you just running? Are you doing triathlons? Are you doing CrossFit? What are you doing to stay in shape? Especially those folks who are over 70 years old. Like, what are you doing that you're over 70 and you're still able to sustain 14 METs on a treadmill test? Because that is incredible. Like, I want to be on that training program. So I would have liked to see that been asked. And I would have liked to see this come out sooner, maybe. There's often a trend to see where's the research, right? We post about remoms and people ask, hey, where's the research supporting this? Where's the randomized control trial? Where's the systematic review? Where's the meta-analysis supporting this use? And we can see this study started in 1991, right? 27 years from initial data collection to reading it is the timeline it took. And what I often like to tell people is like, hey, if you're waiting for research to support the use of something in the clinic that's brand new, be prepared to wait, right? Wait 27 years. That's a huge limitation from getting it from data collection to publication. So be aware that this is, 27 years ago that some of this data was taken. But overall, I think fantastic study. No upper limit perceived to fitness. Get as much fitness as you can. How do we take this and translate it into our traditional patients, into our athletes in the gym, into ourselves, into our family members? I think it reinforces the importance of daily fitness, right? You have to be working on your fitness every day. You have to get as much fitness as you can because we see all the great protective effects that it does have. Something that we talk about in CrossFit, something that Coach Greg Glassman says, increased work capacity across broad time and multiple domains. That's kind of the CrossFit definition of fitness. Also working on increasing your fitness and load trajectory towards a distant horizon, right? Not just, can you exercise today? Can you exercise once a week? Can we get in some fitness as many times in a productive manner throughout the week, throughout the month, throughout the year, throughout the decade, throughout your life? Can we slowly build your fitness up throughout your life? And what are the benefits that it will be? We can see, at least from this paper, a lot, right? 80% reduction in all-cause mortality is massive. I'll take that. I'll take that any day of the week. So getting folks moving in the clinic, getting them sweating, programming your Therax in a REMOM style like we've been talking about on social media the past couple of weeks, taking kind of traditional therapy exercises that you might be using to help a patient reduce pain or increase strength or range of motion, and programming them in a REMOM style, programming them in a rounds per time style, programming them in an AMRAP style, and really not only start to focus on their deficits that you see in the clinic, that range of motion, that strength, that pain, whatever it might be, but programming them in a fashion that gets them sweating, gets them start to build their cardiorespiratory fitness, build that aerobic capacity, build that engine for that person, right? There's no downside to it, right? As long as we're judicious about monitoring vitals and making sure that we're not pushing somebody to a level of intensity that is dangerous or they're not comfortable with, but getting somebody sweating, right? I just had somebody at 7 a.m. programmed some stuff for some patellofemoral pain into a REMOM, and 8 minutes into the 16-minute REMOM, she said, I am sweating like crazy. This is nuts. Good, right? There's no downside to that, right? There's no reason why we can't take those exercises designed to address deficits and program them in a way that also starts to build cardiorespiratory fitness, right? The only limitation to this is your own creativity, right? How you can program this, change the rest intervals, change the reps, change the weight, change the volume to get somebody a good workout in the clinic as they're going through their exercises, right? We know the benefits, and while they're doing it, you can talk to them about other stuff too. You can talk to them about their diet, their sleep, and other stuff, right? You can really start to address the whole person in the clinic, as well as build that cardiorespiratory fitness that we know people need, that is protective against mortality later on in life. So look for an article from Mitch, Zach, and myself, hopefully finishing up this weekend. Going to dig really deep into REMOMs, talk about the REMOM programs that we've been sharing the past couple of weeks, and share with you a lot of the research supporting the use of high-intensity interval training with folks, because we know it can help build that cardiorespiratory fitness, which is protective against death and mortality. Excuse me. And I'll just finish here and argue that it's kind of our job as PTs to make fitness safe, accessible, and fun, right? It doesn't really matter, you know. We often hear the counter argument that patients are too low level for this stuff, and I'll argue that's just a limitation of your own creativity with taking exercises. You can take short arc quads and long arc quads and leg raises and knee bends, and if you program them fast enough, you can start to build some intensity in people. And we see from this article that intensity does seem to matter, that there doesn't seem to be a ceiling on intensity. The fitter we can get, the better. There doesn't seem to be a limit. And talk to your patients about research like this. Talk to your coworkers about research like this. Like, hey, not only are we changing symptoms in the clinic, but we're changing lives, right? We're helping people live longer. Like, Doris, look at this article. Like, the better shape we can get you in, the longer you will live. Like, statistically, like that's like, I'm 33. I don't want to die tomorrow, right? I want to live to be at least 200, 300 years old with modern medicine. That seems reasonable. So share with people that getting into really good shape is not just about looking good, it's about living longer, right? Quality years, quantity years, living longer. So share this research with your coworkers, share this research with patients themselves, try and get them hooked on fitness, make it safe, accessible, and fun for them in the clinic. So today is kind of opposite of what we talked about 2 weeks ago. If you didn't catch that episode, go back and kind of start there, and then maybe come back and rewatch this one, where 2 weeks ago we talked about what's the least we can get away with. Today we're talking about, like, hey, how much can we do? Is there a limit to too much? And as long as we're not getting into overuse injuries or anything like that, it seems to be that no, it doesn't seem like there is an upper limit to doing too much fitness, right? We need to be as fit as we can. It will help us live longer. So if some is good, more is better. Get patients in the clinic moving, get them sweating, get their heart pumping, start to build that aerobic capacity, build that base, and get them going, get them hooked on fitness so that when they leave your clinic, they go somewhere else and keep pursuing that fitness over their lifespan, right? That's kind of the whole goal. So that's all I've got. Hey, make sure if you aren't signed up yet, go to ptionice.com, scroll to the very bottom of the page, and sign up for the ICE Essentials email newsletter. If you haven't signed up for that yet, it's great. We promise we won't spam you. We send out 1 email a week on Wednesday. We call it Hump Day Hustling. We share 5 articles that the ICE faculty have been reading and talking about over the past week. Share with you the article, explain the article, talk a little bit about the article, as well as anything else that's kind of going on in the PT and fitness sphere as far as blogs and videos goes. And that's it. We just send you that nice and simple 1-page email, keep you in the loop with current research and stuff going on in the PT world. So ptionice.com, scroll to the bottom, sign up for Hump Day Hustling. You won't regret it. People love that email. We keep it short and to the point. Your next chance to catch us for Fitness Athlete Live, March 16th and 17th here at CrossFit Fenton. The whole gang will be here. Mitch, myself, and Zach will all be here. So very rarely do we get 2 of us in one place, let alone all 3 of us. So that's going to be a monster course. Make sure you don't miss that one. ptionice.com to find out about that. Next weekend, we have Jessica Davis down in Fort Worth, Texas with Performing Artist Management. That's a great course as well. Jessica is a fantastic instructor. If you haven't had a chance to learn from Jessica, you don't want to miss out. What an absolutely rock star clinician and somebody who's super passionate about dance medicine. And then that same weekend, Jeff will be down in Baton Rouge, Louisiana for Circle Spine Management at Delta Physical Therapy. Great crew down there as well. So check out those 2 courses. Check us out here in Fenton and March. And then February 25th, Monday, February 25th, coming up, we have Precision Prevention with Allie Hartman, and we have Total Lifestyle Therapist with Jeremy Fletcher and Megan Doyle. Both of those are 8-week online courses, continuation of our APHPT curriculum. So that's what's going on in the next 2 weeks or so. Make sure to check those courses out. Check us out on ptionice.com. Sign up for that Hump Day Hustling newsletter if you haven't yet. And that's all I got for you. Intensity matters. Get your butt moving as much as you can. Get that fitness in as much as possible. Aim to be in that elite level, right? Sustain that 14 METs. Get that 80% reduction in all-cause mortality. So check out that article. I'll post it here in a second, and then we'll see you next time. Have a great weekend. Have a great Friday.